Hello and welcome to Kalam IAS. This is Shubham Dubey, Faculty for Economics at Kalam IAS. Today, I'll be discussing the UPSC GS paper 3 and the segments will be of Economics and Science and Technology. With both parts, we'll be discussing almost 11 questions which have come today. And in these 11 questions, I'll show you how you need to put the demand of the question in your answers and how we can write better, enriched and quality answers in a similar way. So once again, welcome to Kalam IAS. With the Kalam IAS, we pledge to make you understand, to practice and to perform and to get succeeded in your path of this UPSC journey. And in that process, we are ready to serve you at every place, at every stage at the same time. Let me show you something. I'll start with a quote which is very important for most of the candidates, that optimism is essential to achievement and it is also the foundation of courage and true progress. So two things are there, the courage and progress, and for that you always need optimism. This was by Nicholas Butler, who has given this thought, and with this thought I'm starting my session with all of you today. Let's see further. I want to show you something that will help you in the process of journey of UPSC, CSE, the next attempt which you are going to give, the 2024 attempt. We are starting with certain initiatives which we have utilized in past year also, and that has benefited many candidates this year in mains as well as in prelims. For this year, the students who are going to appear for the next attempt in 2024, we have come up with our bootcamp series. In the bootcamp series, we are going to take two programs, the prelims part and the mains aspect. With that, the prelims 2024 bootcamp, it is Sweat to Success, and again the mains 2024 bootcamp Sweat to Success program. In these programs, we have strategically developed sectional test. Along with the sectional test, the subject-wide options, accumulation of many PYQs and many practice questions that will further help you to succeed in the mission. Let me show you something. The bit nitty-gritty of this part of prelims 2024 bootcamp, where we'll be having 26 half-sectional tests, out of which 6 from polity, 6 from history, 6 from economy, and 6 from geography, and 2 from current affairs. Furthermore, we'll be having 5 full sectional tests and around 2000 MCQs will be covering from different sources of UPSC examinations like NDA, CDS, EPFO and other aspects. All these will help you to succeed in prelims 2024. Furthermore, content is the king, we all know. We will be providing you CSAT 20+ hours lectures. As we have seen in past few years, the CSAT has been very crucial for the selection and for the prelims qualifications. That means if you need to qualify prelims, your CSAT should be mastered, and for that we are giving you a faculty who's an IIT topper and also CSE rank holder. He will be providing 20+ hours of recorded lectures. Then the static subject wise notes, KGP, which has been very essential and very helpful for the candidates who have qualified prelims this time. Also the K-Snippet 365, which is having so much of good information and quality information which will help you in your prelims examination. Along with it, the current edge booklet, which has played a very important role in the mains examination as well as prelims examination this time. Apart from it, the joker in this pack, which is very crucial and very important, is the notes making and review by CSE experts, mentorship by CSE selected candidates, and the coverage of different themes, important themes in 150+ hour segment. So all these things we are going to give you in this prelims 2024 bootcamp series. Now the next 4 months are very crucial for all of you who are going to write next year the prelims and mains examination of CSE, and for that we have come up with another program, that is bootcamp program for mains 2024. In that, you will be given the content, recorded lectures on that. Apart from it, 1 hour test will be followed by 1.5 hour discussion. The evaluation and mentorship on daily basis, workshops on essay and ethics answer writing will be given to you. integrated with GS Mains test series and face-to-face evaluation, which has been very crucial. Many candidates who have joined our RLP series and replay series have seen the benefit of the face-to-face evaluation provided by us to you. The mark improvement booklets, which has played very important role in writing essays, ethics, and all GS4 papers. Then F2F, and evaluation will be done by the CSE toppers. Give test anywhere and give face-to-face evaluation. If you even you have joined any other test series, you can, if you are a part of this program, you have enrolled in this program, you can come up with that copy and we will do the face-to-face evaluation with you so that you can know the better aspect, where to do the quality enrichment part, where to improve your own self. Furthermore, the mentorship and notes review will always be there. And with all these concepts, the Kalam wants you to succeed in this process in one go, not in different processes. First you are in this process and that process. We have came up with something which is very essential, which is very crucial for the selection. And for that, this thing is not going to affect you more. So 2 days for prelims 2024 and 2 days for mains 2024, we have planned something like that. And with that, this is the time when you need to work on your weak areas. Many aspirants who are still struggling to qualify the prelims examination, and many aspirants who are lacking with few marks or more marks at the same time in the mains examination. For all of you, we have come up with an innovative idea of bootcamp. And this is going to help you out in all the processes and journey of the examination. Let me tell you something. What bootcamp is? It is not just a test series, but a step-by-step ladder which will involve you into practicing the questions, and performance-wise you will be better, and both the things will lead to succeed. And these aspects will help you out in changing and transforming your journey of UPSC, which is still lacking or struggling somewhere at different point of time. Furthermore, you can join us at telegram.me Kalam IAS and get the best out of you with the Kalam IAS family, with the Kalam IAS Academy. Now, furthermore, there are 2 more programs which are going to start by next week. That is very important and crucial for the candidates who are facing problems with essay and ethics. For essay paper, we are going to start a workshop that will be a 10 hours value addition lecture. This will include many aspects from introduction to conclusion, how to write an essay, what are the major themes, what are the key components of an essay, what is required, what is not required. Everything you will be told by our senior faculty and very experienced faculty at the same time. This essay MIB booklet you will be given, which has been very helpful. Also, one full length test with F2F evaluation will be given to you, 1 week essay workshop, and the techniques to write introduction and conclusion in the essay part. Apart from it, these are the sessions details, like the session 1 will be on 12th of October, session 2 will be on 13th of October, and session 3 will be on 14th of October, and 2 hours will be the duration of these each sessions. Apart from it, in the answer writing and other aspects, we will be dealing with things in the essay that will make you to enrich your essay part, to make the qualitative addition in your essay part, and further that will enhance your score also. So this EMI program, that is Essay Marks Improvement Program, will be very beneficial for the candidates who are still struggling in writing what to write and what not to write, how my essay can be a qualitative essay along with the facts and anecdotes and other aspects that gonna help you out today. Furthermore, with a very renowned person, we'll be dealing with Ethics Marks Improvement Program. That will be a 20 hours value addition recorded lecture. 10 ethics workbook will be given to you, and workshop of 2-week ethics answer writing workshop will also be given to you. 1 full length test with face-to-face evaluation and ethics marks improvement booklet will be a part of it. So this will be altogether one of the most comprehensive program for ethics marks improvement, which we have successfully conducted in last year also and this year also, and many students have got benefit from this session. For that, you just need to call us on our links given, on the number given, and get enrolled and get the benefit of this two major programs of ethics, essay, and bootcamp. All this gonna help you to succeed in the mission of becoming an IAS officer very soon. The sessions will be like this, session 1 to session 6 from 6th October onwards, that is the next week only. So we are starting with ethics, then we'll be conducting the essay program, and simultaneously the bootcamp program is also running. Everything is going to benefit you, but for that you need to step ahead. You have to take the first step and come to us, talk to us, and discuss what are the weak points of yours which we can rectify with you. Now I'm moving towards the economy part, where I'll be discussing 8 questions from economy, and then I'll move to science and tech part, where I'll be discussing 3 questions in the science and tech part. So let me show you something. This is the syllabus of economics, where the first topic is Indian economy and issues relating to planning, mobilization of resources, growth, development, and employment. We got one question from unemployment, and directly it was from syllabus itself. The employment aspect was here. Then one question we got from the care economy to monetized economy. Now many candidates are still struggling with that, sir, this was out of syllabus topic or something like that. No, it wasn't. Why it wasn't? Because it comes under the Indian economy aspect, and the inclusive growth aspect with women aspect can be taken care of. So it was mix up, but although it was a very good question which has been asked by UPSC. Then see the cropping pattern aspect that they have asked. Furthermore, this e-technology aid to the farmers. This was one more question which they have asked this time. Then the aspect of direct and indirect farm subsidies they have asked, and they have connected it to the WTO issue on the subsidies given by India, right? So I have shown you directly they are asking the questions from here only. After this, we got the question from land reforms in India, and apart from it, we got few more questions from the economics aspect from these topics only. So completely it was from here. They have not changed it anywhere else. The MSME aspect, if I talk about, or the manufacturing aspect, it has come from the industrial aspect or industry significance. And furthermore, the digitalization aspect is again in the Indian economy, because the service delivery aspect of the economy will come under there. So largely most of the questions were from here only, not most, all of the questions this time. So 100% from the syllabus only, and wide coverage of syllabus along with the important themes we have covered, and that has helped many students. For example, in our RLP series, I have discussed many questions, and out of those, and along with the booklets which we have provided, around 70 to 80% of the content has been covered by us. I'll show you in an upcoming video that how many questions has been reflected directly or indirectly in the UPSC examination, which we have covered in our test series. Furthermore, now I'll move towards the questions which has been asked, for which you are waiting with me, that the sir is going to discuss all the questions. So let's see what kind of questions this time they have asked. First, say the faster economic growth requires increased share of manufacturing sector in India in GDP, particularly of MSMEs. Comment on the present policies of government in this regard. This was the first question they have asked in 150 marker. I'll discuss this also. Then the second question, what is the status of digitalization in Indian economy? Examine the problems faced in this regard and suggest improvements. That was the second question they have asked. The third question, how does e-technology helps farmers in production and marketing of agricultural produce? All these questions we have discussed in our classroom. So I'll show you and I'll tell you how to write all these answers. Let me first show you the kind of questions they have asked this time. State the objective and measures of land reforms in India. Discuss how land ceiling policy on land holding can be considered as an effective reform under economic criteria. That was the fourth question, and 4 questions in the 10 marker series of 150 words they have asked. I'll discuss how to introduce, what to write, and what they were expecting in these answers that we'll discuss today. Furthermore, the 250 word limit question of 15 marker was first, most of the unemployment is structural in the nature. Examine the methodology adopted to compute unemployment in the country and suggest improvement. Furthermore, distinguish between care economy and monetized economy. This was also a good question. How can care economy be brought into monetized economy through women empowerment? Then explain the changes in cropping pattern in India in context of changes in consumption pattern and marketing conditions. Furthermore, what are the direct and indirect subsidies provided to farm sector in India? Discuss the issues raised by the WTO in relation to agricultural subsidies. These were the 8 questions which we'll be discussing today, which they have asked. So let's start with the first question first. The first question, faster economic growth requires share of manufacturing sector in GDP, particularly of MSME. Comment on the present policies of government in this regard. So, this faster economic growth, it requires increased share of what? Manufacturing of particularly MSMEs, and comment on the current policies taken in this regard. So, with this question, how you gonna introduce this question? That is the first key. If we need to introduce such question, first we need to understand the first part, which also needs to be substantiated with certain points. For example, we need to substantiate how this faster economic growth require the increased share of manufacturing and particularly MSME. That means we need to show the importance of manufacturing and MSME here. And for that, you can introduce with the expected potential and the current contribution of manufacturing or particularly MSME. Furthermore, in the body part, we need to tell why increased share of manufacturing is required, what is the importance of it, and how it will further help in faster economic growth. In the body part itself, we need to discuss the second part of the question or the first part of the question, that is comment on the present policies, where firstly we will mention the policies which government has taken forward, and then a critical assessment can be given, or in the concluding remark you can discuss the challenges of these policies and furthermore in a concluding remark. So, way forward kind of stuff should be there in the concluding remark. Again, the point is, this question you need to write in 150 words only. So, you need to be very precise because 150 word limit is there and you have a lot in your mind to write, but you just need to write most of the relevant aspect. Here, what many candidates will do and would have done also, few candidates have only been particularly stick to the MSME aspect. But no, you need to put a bit of reference of manufacturing sector also, because they have given manufacturing there and particularly in MSME they have asked. So, the context of MSME should be emphasized but not left alone. That is the point. So, let us see how we can introduce such question. Manufacturing sector in India, which contributes around 17% to GDP and employs around 12% of the country's workforce, is a key contributor in the country's economic growth. You can start with this statement also. Furthermore, if you want to add, the government aims to achieve 25% of economy's outcome by manufacturing sector by 2025, where the role of present policies of government like National Manufacturing Policy, Design and Production Linked Incentive Schemes, CAPF for logistics and other policies will play significant role to increase the contribution of manufacturing sector in faster economic growth. Now, what you have done? You have just substantiated the first part. Now, you have enough space to give the second part. Furthermore, in the body part, you can make certain pictorial diagram like the importance of manufacturing sector. How it is important? Let's see. Firstly, it is labor intensive. Secondly, the economic diversification of different sector is possible with the more inclusion of manufacturing sector or more increasing share of manufacturing sector at the same time. Furthermore, the self-reliant aspect will be utilized and will be reached with increased proportion of manufacturing in India. The innovation and technology transfer will also utilize the better aspect in improving the efficiency and productivity of the economy. Furthermore, the export potential will increase and which will add on to the export regime and making India a manufacturing hub of the world at the same time. So this kind of pictorial remark we can make with the importance of manufacturing sector. Now let's move forward to see what we can write in the body aspect of this question. The financial support aspect. Now we are talking about the government policies to promote manufacturing and MSMEs. You will write both. You will not just write only MSMEs or particularly MSMEs, rather you should write both. In the financial support aspect, we can talk about Prime Minister Credit Guarantee Scheme, just a bit of it. Then this credit link capital subsidy, Atmanirbhar Bharat package and Mudra Yojana for accessible credit option. Then you can furthermore write in the MSME aspect the emergency response program of GOI and World Bank, which has provided 750 million loan to MSMEs during COVID. That is one of the most important aspect. Then the PLI schemes for 15 manufacturing sectors and emergency credit guarantee scheme through the government to MSMEs. Why I am giving you all these policies? Because these policies have played very critical and important role, and this will lead to benefit the MSME and manufacturing sector overall. The National Manufacturing Policy and Make in India 2.0 so that the subsectors of manufacturing can be benefited, and to make India the manufacturing hub of the world is also required here. The infrastructure development, which is very key to make the connectivity possible for the logistics and transport issues, to curb that, developing different modes of transport, logistics and other facilities through PM Gati Shakti and National Logistics Policy. The multimodal logistics parks then can also be mentioned in your answer. These points can be mentioned in the pictorial form also or in a other way. For example, you have written for infrastructure development, you have given 4 to 5 points. Everything is important so that their performance and their share can be better utilized for the faster economic growth. Furthermore, particularly if we go with the MSME part, we need to reduce the regulatory burden, like simplifying business registration processes, reducing red tapeism, streamlining regulations to make it easier for MSMEs to operate at the same time. Then the change in definition of MSME is one of the major steps taken by the government for better inclusion of MSMEs. Then the Udyam portal for easy MSME registration, Samadhan portal for payment monitoring to MSMEs, so that if there is any payment left, that can be given to MSMEs for better functioning also. The ramp with an outlay of 6,000 crore for improving access of MSMEs to the markets, and credit technology and upgradation option with the ramp aspect. The champions for resolution and redressal and remedies for MSMEs. What all this will do? This will ease the functioning of MSME, and proper functioning and ease functioning will lead to more productivity and more efficiency at the same time. Then the Self-Reliant India Fund, we can talk about the Spurti scheme for traditional industries, market promotion and development schemes that have paved the way for better contribution of MSME sector. These are the schemes which you can mention, but being in limit, largely mentioned with the key aspects of it so that your 150 limit should not breach also. Furthermore, the quality standard is also one thing, zero defect, zero effect, and one district, one product can also be mentioned over here. With that, because you have limited space, so you can't write so much of it, so you can write the challenges part in 1 or 2 lines within the concluding remark. How we can do that? Let's see. Although government policies seek to revamp the manufacturing and MSME sector in India, there are certain challenges like financial constraint, skill shortage, informal sectors, and limited technology access that hinder the manufacturing sector growth. To increase its share, promoting digital adoption, simplifying regulations, enhancing market access are vital for long-term economic prosperity and job creation. This way, you can conclude your answer. The other way of this, write certain policies and you can critically speak about those policies, how much they have been effective. For example, the PLI has been very effective to promote domestic manufacturing. You can comment on that. So things are available in your mind. You just need to concise it. You just need to make it a qualitative answer in a similar way. So this was the first question which we have discussed. Now I'll move towards the second question which we'll be discussing today. This question I have discussed in two parts. First part was the manufacturing sector's transformation, and other part was the MSME's contribution and how we can include for inclusive growth aspect in the RLP series. Now the next question comes. The next question is about digitalization. In that, what is the status of digitalization in the Indian economy, and examine the problems faced in this regard and suggest improvements. This was 150 word 10 mark question. With this question, what we can do, what are the things? अब यहाँ पे देखेंगे अगर आप तो clearly 3 सब parts तो already दिए हुए हैं, तो हमें बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ करना नहीं है, जो सब parts हैं उन्हीं को mention करना है. For example, the status of digitalization, first you will talk about this. Then briefly mention the problems and then improvements and a bit of the concluding remark. This is very important. Many aspirants miss this, the concluding remark, because they have written the way forward, but at least you need to write 1 or 2 lines as a concluding remark so that a better optimistic conclusion can be shown. So for that, you need to introduce the question with a line from the digitalization aspect, and furthermore, you can assess the status of digitalization in that. Furthermore, in the body part, you can talk about the status of digitalization a bit, then the problems, and then improvements. And then in the concluding remark, which I have just told you. So let's see how we can write this answer. We can start with increased access to digital services and products in India, the status of digitalization can be summarized as follows. Simple. You have started, and in that first thing we can write about the robust DPI, that is digital public infrastructure, which India has made, which has also been lauded by IMF. Furthermore, we can talk about the digital payments, which is one of the component of it, where in August 2023, 1,000 crore monthly transactions from August onwards has been achieved. One more point you can mention, since the inception, almost from 2018 onwards, that was the most important time, there is 121% rise in the transaction of UPI. Furthermore, the e-governance aspect, which has been made possible through this digital infrastructure, where you can talk about Umang, My Government, or Jam Trinity, or through DBT, how government is benefiting the major population of India. That can also be mentioned over here. The other aspect is the digital startups, where many startups have come up and are contributing in the economy aspect. Those are from EdTech, from Health Tech, and FinTech also at the same time, and they have grown like anything. So mentioning all these will empower your answer more and will fetch you more marks at the same time. And the e-commerce reach. Now e-commerce is delivering the products to villages also. That is another milestone achievement of digitalization in India. Like Flipkart, Amazon, and you can also talk about the government platform, which will make more fair competition, the ONDC, Open Network Digital Commerce by Government of India. Furthermore, the digital transformation of manufacturing sector, that is very important. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आप सिर्फ एक segment को ही address कर रहे हो. You should have all the dimensions and you need to answer in all the dimensions at the same time. Furthermore, the digital literacy aspect, which has also improved. Now most of the people, there is huge penetration, even the आप सब्जी भी ले रहे हो या कहीं भी ले रहे हो, you can pay with the UPI aspect, that you can mention also. And the status of digitalization, or digitalization is just not limited to India only. We are also increasing our ambit to other worlds, to neighboring countries also at the same time, that we can mention in this answer. Furthermore, with this, we have 3 aspects which you can mention in your answer. That is the digital identity through Aadhaar and other means. Here we can talk about payment aspect, and here we can talk about information exchange aspect. This question I have also dealt in a very detailed way in my classroom. So definitely the students who have written the answer, they have got benefit of it. Furthermore, the problems, the second part of the question that we need to come, the problems faced in digitalization. The first is the digital divide between the urban and rural India that you can mention here as a problem, which is also creating hurdles in reaping many benefits. Not just digital divide, we can also talk about the connectivity issue, the internet issue, which is hampering the effective utilization at different places. Furthermore, the data privacy and security aspect, where you can talk about many fintech companies, for example, MobiKwik और पॉलिसी बाजार, यहाँ से लाखों लोगों का डेटा चोरी हुआ है, that you can mention. Digital skill gap, yes it is. The digital illiteracy aspect has led to many problems. Many people are being victim of phishing and other aspect due to this digital skill gap. The regulatory challenges are also there. We don't have comprehensive data protection bill or any other aspect which can save us from the digital frauds also. And then the infrastructural bottlenecks, which creates hurdle in providing seamless services or seamless access to digital services at the same time. These are certain problems which you can mention, and now you should move forward. What are the improvements we can do? Improvements can be done. With that, you can start with BharatNet itself. First problem was digital divide. This has helped to reduce more than, there is an increase of 200% in internet penetration or use of digital aspect in the rural areas, reducing the urban-rural digital divide. And furthermore, you can write in this answer that this can be effectively utilized in the inaccessible area which has not been accessed till now. Furthermore, the PM Disha and PM Kausal Vikas Yojana 4.0 for the digital literacy aspect and digital skilling aspect, which can further utilize the labor force or low skilled people into integration into the manufacturing aspect. You should not be limited to one stakeholder only. There should be broad dimension of your answer writing when it is about digitalization. Furthermore, the data protection law is very important for safety of data and to safeguard people to not get into the fraud issue. Furthermore, simplifying the digital applications or digital infrastructure facilities so that it can be user friendly for many people who are unable to access different government services. For example, अगर किसी को लाइफ सर्टिफिकेट बनाना हो तो वो खुद से बनाने में काफी लोगों को दिक्कत आएगी because they are not having that digital skill at the same time. For that, if it will be made easier, definitely a person can do it from his own phone, and that will be very much beneficial in that aspect. Foster digital startup growth. The digital startups like EdTech, HealthTech, and other aspects should be better promoted at the same time. Furthermore, the clear, transparent policy to ensure fair competition is again very important, so that this segment should not be monopolized and unfair trade practices should be curbed down. For example, the illegal digital lending should be curbed down also. Then strengthen the cyber security measures so that people can not get into the trap of phishing attacks and other aspects that you can mention over here in the improvement aspect. I hope these were the sufficient point for the question number 2, and with that you can conclude in a way. Achieving comprehensive digitalization in Indian economy is essential for sustainable economic growth and development, inclusive development. While significant progress has been made, addressing challenges related to infrastructure, cyber security, regulation, and digital literacy is crucial. So you have concluded also in a similar way that shows more positive aspect of it. 2 questions. I hope these were clear to you. Now let's move forward to the third question. The third question is, how does e-technology helps farmers in production and marketing of agricultural produce? Here 2 aspects. have been given to you. This e-technology, how it is going to help in the production aspect and marketing aspect at the same time. So we can write this answer in both the aspects and you need to explain it. Simply they have given कैसे करी है आपको explain करना है. तो इस क्वेश्चन में आपको सब पार्ट्स आराम से मिले हुए हैं और सब पार्ट्स के बारे में आपको लिखना है. But how you gonna introduce this question? That is first part. There are two ways to introduce. First, you can define this e-technology aspect if you want to, or how this e-technology has helped farmers. To an extent, you can define that also. Then in the body part, we'll be writing these two aspects like e-technology aid in the production and the marketing aspect. And furthermore, the concluding remark to it that we'll be discussing. In the first part, can we start with the definition with the e-technology, what it does? For example, e-technology encompasses diverse transmission methods such as the electronic devices, satellite communication, mobile tech and information services. Largely, this is the e-technology services which has helped in agriculture sector also. Let's see what are the things which we can see. It has helped the farmers to increase crop productivity and improve the market access in multiple ways. You have reciprocated the first part of the question in the introduction part itself. Now let's see what are the points we can write into it. First, access to information. What kind of information a farmer needs if I talk about, for example, the information related to weather forecast. The information that is monsoon itself, the coming of monsoon and other aspects. The information related to pest management, information related to soil health and other information which will help farmers to improve their crop production, marketing aspect. And with all this, the aspects which help further the farmer to take decisions which will be productive enough and helpful enough at the same time. In that aspect, soil health card, to know the health of soil, how much nutrient is required in this soil, definitely it's going to reduce the cost also at the same time. And with optimum utilization of fertilizers, a farmer can produce better at the same time. Then the DD Kisan, the channel of information, the Kisan SMS, providing important information to farmers at different levels, is very helpful to that. Furthermore, the precision agriculture aspect through it, through the means of technology. For example, this per drop more crop, the irrigation facility, sprinkler and other aspects you can cover into it. Then the National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, rain-fed areas के लिए, बाकी के लिए GPS based soil samples, drone sensors and other aspects for precision agriculture we can write, which will further improve the production aspect. Improved productivity through Kisan drones can be included into it, right? The online marketplace for better price discovery, we have ENAM. For placing your products on online market, we have options like AgriBazaar. We can also link this FPO with ICTs, the farmer producer organization linked with information and communication technology services or e-technology services. They can give better prospect and better bargaining to farmers at the same time. Furthermore, the e-grams, making local products available on the online market, that can be also a better aspect into it. So supply chain management, so that the problems, the bottlenecks in the supply chain, transport and other aspects can be better managed, so that we can utilize this RFID and blockchain technology into that. That is again e-technology. So how these can help are the pointers which you can use in this answer. Furthermore, the mobile apps like PM Kisan Sabha for getting more information related to precision agriculture related to what is better for the agricultural produce, which seed is better, different aspects, you can get everything from there. Then the e-commerce and online payment options, we have this MSP through DBT. Then for e-commerce, we have AgroStar, we have AgroFi, where agricultural products can be sold or bought at the same time through these e-commerce companies. And also you can make the examples. For example, Blinkit. Can we talk about Amazon Fresh? Where what you are getting, you are directly getting farm fresh fruits and vegetables at the same time. That is also ensuring reaping the marketing benefit to farmers. They are directly selling it to the Amazon and other players at the same time. The farm management software for the entire farm management aspect, you can write the point like Farm ERP, the Enterprise Resource Program, which gives you access whether you are sitting there or not. Your farm will be completely automated and better utilization can be done with that. Furthermore, this remote monitoring, if you are not available there, you can monitor aspect can be done, camera, drones and sensors, so that you can assess that better production or better marketing aspect is being promoted or not, fair practices are being done or not at your farm. So these are certain things which we can mention. Furthermore, we can talk about the research and development aspect. E-technology यहाँ भी तो है. For example, the GM crops, hybrid crops. What we are doing? We are changing the seeds and other aspects. We are genetically modifying them. That is the research and development aspect that you can write. That is again the technology aspect or e-technology aspect there. Then the government support through smart PDS and other many government services which they are providing. For example, the Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana. इसको भी e-technology के through better utilization करिए government. To assess the losses and other aspects, government is utilizing the different services. Also the geotagging, that aspect you can also add over here, which will ensure things. So these were certain points which you can mention, and how this technology is transforming the agricultural production and marketing segment, the points you can mention forward in your answer. Furthermore, you can conclude your answer with this: the e-technology revolutionize agriculture, empowering farmers to not just being accommodative, thrive in a competitive and interconnected global market, but by enhancing the productivity, efficiency and reducing risks and opening new opportunities. Such kind of conclusion you can put forward. Also, you can talk about the e-technology is helping the farmers to gain the efficiency and productivity that will lead to increase their income significantly, something like that you can conclude with. So these are the aspects which you can do in such kind of questions. I hope the pointers are clear to you. Now let's move forward to the next question which has been asked to you. The next question is, state the objectives and measures of land reforms in India. Discuss how land ceiling policy on land holding can be considered as an effective reform under economic criteria. With this, many of the aspirants have found it difficult because they were not having much idea of land ceiling policy, but it was very easy. You just need to utilize the terms. कभी कभी जब questions में आपको नहीं समझ में आ रहा है कि कहाँ से पूछ लिया या किस aspect में पूछ लिया, you just break the terms. For example, land ceiling policy. This is a favorite measure of mine. Divide it. Ceiling ही तो करनी है. So with that, we can understand कि what can be the aspects. Furthermore, in this aspect, first you need to define a bit the land reform in the introduction part, which I feel, so that you can talk about its objectives and the measures has been taken to make this land reform effective. And thereafter, we need to talk about how a land ceiling policy can be an effective reform under economic criteria. This was it about the question, and further a concluding remark you can put forward. So in introduction, you need to talk about this. Then in the body part, we'll be talking about this and certain part of this, and in the concluding remarks, we'll be having certain points. So let's see what we can write. Let's introduce this question. For the introduction part, can we start with land reforms in India have been a crucial aspect of its socio-economic development. Furthermore, they aimed at achieving various objectives. The objectives can be providing the equality, inequality reduction का aspect आप वहीं पे डाल दो या equality लिख दो. Furthermore, you can add on certain more points which has multifaceted effects. So let's see what can be those points. The major objectives of land reforms in India, if I say, boosting agricultural productivity, yes. Promoting social justice so that the equitable benefits can be taken. Land to tillers and income redistribution can be done. With those aspects, either you can write like this or you can give a certain sub point into it. For example, providing the lands to landless laborers will help them to increase the agricultural practice, and this will further lead to increase in the productivity of the agriculture land at the same time. Furthermore, the social justice aspect, we know the equitable distribution of resources, which will further reduce the economic inequality and social inequality at the same time. The land to tillers, the people who actually tilling the land, they are the main people who need it, rather than the people who are just owning it to an extent. That was the motive behind land reforms at that time, because we had major large landlords and the small and marginal farmers largely were the tillers who had almost no land or very less land with them. So if we see if there is any possibility, let's do the land reform so that the equitable distribution of resources can be made forward, so that the larger main objectives can be fulfilled. And the income distribution with the redistribution of lands, if a person is having land more than the ceiling, so that land can be given to a landless labor for the benefit of that labor also. These were certain objectives, and furthermore with the objectives we need to know what were the measures which government has taken, starting with the abolition of Zamindari Act, then the tenancy regulation, the providing a fixed tenure to tenancy, because it was very important for the security aspect and for the food security aspect at the same time. The land ceiling, one person can have this much of land, and if he has more than that, that can be redistributed to landless laborers or landless tillers. Further, the land to tillers, that was the another step which has been taken, which has further improved the redistribution of land and also redistribution of income to an extent. Furthermore, it has promoted sense of a bit cooperative farming, because of small fragmented lands people can produce the cooperative farming aspect that will better benefit. Through land acquisition, redistribution, tenancy regulation, land consolidation, land records digitization and various support programs for small and marginal farmers, government has tried to achieve the major objectives of land reforms. That measures we can write further. Again, this will be your 150 words to 50-50 words. Now the next part of it, which it has asked how this land holding can be considered as an effective reform under economic criteria. With this, you can start with it will provide income equality and livelihood security to the people to a larger extent. It will reduce the inequality aspect and provide a source of income to larger population. Furthermore, the preventing land monopolies, like large landholders, they were doing a lot of inhuman aspects they were providing, that was also needed to be curbed down. And further, the equitable resource allocation, that can be taken into the economic aspect. Enhancing land utilization efficiency, you can write 1 or 2 points into this also. And then further helps in boosting the rural income, because largely the landless laborers are in the rural areas and they are working in other person's agricultural field. If it will be done, it will help to produce some income to them. It will enhance the agricultural productivity also, definitely. It addresses the social and economic inequality to an extent and promoting economic growth and equity. So these are certain points which you can mention in this answer, and this will enrich your answer at the same time. Furthermore, to conclude, the success of, now they are asking how does, so you need to talk about how the success depends and where the success depends. The success of land ceiling policies hinges on their implementation, enforcement and local conditions. Challenges like land valuation, opposition from large landholders and administrative capabilities can impact their effectiveness. Here you have talked about certain challenges. Now you will be saying it is crucial to integrate these policies of land reform into a comprehensive strategy that encompasses agricultural support, infrastructure development and rural growth to maximize their economic benefit. Conclusion आपने conclude कर दिया in a similar way, जो जो pointers थे वो डाल दिया आपने. How it can be effective आपने बता दिया, economic pattern में कैसे reform हो सकता है. So this way it was required to be answered this fourth question, which has one set of demand. Now I'll be coming to the 250 marker question, 250 word question with 15 marker. In that aspect, the question is related to unemployment. Most of the unemployment in India is structural in nature. So first part is unemployment is what? Structural in nature. Now what we know about structural? Simple, the job skill mismatch. So you need to address with like this. Then examine the methodology adopted to compute. Now you need to mention the methodology to compute unemployment. Furthermore, because you need to examine, you need to talk about the challenges of this methodology or overall challenges which are not giving the exact data of unemployment in India. And we need to then suggest improvements related to the similar thing. This way you need to define the answer. Now I want to tell you one thing. In this question, first what need to do? In the introductory remark हमें क्या करना होगा यहाँ पे? We need to address this part which has been given. If there is some statement, you need to address that statement also in the answer. And then you need to come to the main part of that, that is examine the methodology. So in the introduction part, we'll start with the unemployment. If you have certain data, you can utilize that. If you don't have some data, you can start with the definition of unemployment or how unemployment is impacting India and then come to connecting the structural unemployment. That you can also do there. So data like Center for Monitoring Indian Economy का data हो सकता है. Data can be from NSO, periodic labor force survey वाला data हो सकता है. वो सारे aspects आप cover कर सकते हो यहाँ पे. Let's see how we gonna write. So समझ में आगे introduction part में ये होगा. Body part में will come with the methodology and the challenges of it, and then we'll be suggesting certain improvements and then we'll be concluding it. So let's see what we can write, what we can do in the introduction aspect of this question. So first part come first. Unemployment in India is complex with a significant element of structural unemployment. यहाँ connect कर दिया दोनों को. Caused by a skill job mismatch. Simple. This mismatch arises from enduring market shift due to global economic development, rapid technological progress and innovation. अब हम यहाँ पे अगर बात करें तो can we put Atlas का example? The oldest and biggest cycle manufacturing company which has shut down. Why? Because people, with advancement of technology and global development, people shifted from cycle to bikes, scooters or other two-wheelers rather than cycle largely. This has led to what? Unemployment in this sector, and lastly, the atlas got closed. Can we take this example? Furthermore, structural unemployment reflects the disparity between the skill and qualification of the labor force and the requirements of available jobs are challenging, influenced in the term changes in the market dynamics. साइकिल वाला तो एग्जांपल हो गया, और क्या एग्जांपल हो सकता है इंडिया में स्ट्रक्चरल अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट का? कैन वी से एग्रीकल्चर? डिस्गाइज्ड अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट तो है ही, बट स्ट्रक्चरल भी है, बिकॉज दे आर नॉट एबल टू कैच the technological advancement of changes in the agriculture sector itself. Furthermore, now the jobs coming with Industry 4.0 or digital transformation, largely due to skill mismatch, larger population is not getting the job who are looking for the job at the same time. यही तो unemployment है, right? So with that, you can introduce this answer with giving one or two examples, and then you can move forward to the government measures taken to what? To compute the unemployment. So methodology की बात हम यहाँ पे कर रहे हैं, और methodology के aspect में, just give me a minute. Methodology which is being used by NSO, that is first usual principal and subsidiary status. This is a year-long status where they compute that in 365 days for a larger period of time, to be precise, और हम कह सकते हैं on an average 7 months. If a person who was looking for job is not getting a job, तो वो इस status में आएगा, usual principal और usual status of work में. Along with the principal, if he was also looking for some subsidiary aspect, so he will come under in the subsidiary status. For say, if a person was looking for the principal job, but at the same time he was also looking for some option which is temporary in nature, so he will come under the subsidiary status. So that you can write 1 or 2 points for that. Then there is a weekly status approach, where in a week, if a person is not getting even an hour job in a week, then he will be termed in the unemployed as weekly status approach. Then the current daily approach, which is based on every day's approach. For say in a week, if a person is not getting 1 hour job even in a single day, he will be termed unemployed there. So सबसे छोटा जो estimate आता है वो यहाँ पे आता है, which is largely being utilized by the governments. And overall this aspect will show more unemployment in the economy. There are some other surveys also, like labor force participation rate, which shows the employment and unemployment situation in the economy, and the data of unemployment by Center for Monitoring Indian Economy is also one thing. With clubbing both the data, the unemployment rate is being mentioned in the economy aspect. And this was largely in debate, so that way this was an important question this time, because unemployment, berojgari was so much in news. So methodology kya thi? Largely most of the students misunderstood this time, but you just needed to mention 1, 2, 3, 4 and largely this 3 aspect. And this was an associated aspect that you needed to mention in your answer. Furthermore, we need to know what are the bottlenecks in measuring unemployment, or what are the problems which come forward while measuring the status of unemployment in India. With that aspect, if we see the social norms, where social norms क्या है? मेरी qualification ये, मैं ये job कैसे कर सकता हूँ, or traditional thinking which has led to many people not of joining available jobs in the market at the same time. That is one aspect. Again, the another aspect, not enough data or large presence of this informal sector, which is also not letting to assess the unemployment aspect in the economy at the same time. If we move forward, the rural-urban disparities, the urban unemployment rate, the rural unemployment rate are 2 other things also at the same time. Furthermore, we can talk about the issue of freelancers and gig workers, What is the status of work with these people? We are not able to assess because there are not accurate data with us. So these are certain things which you can mention with certain pointers which I have just told you that you can write. These were certain problems. Then the measures which are needed to be taken or suggesting improvements. First is skill development. Why skill development is required? To counter this structural unemployment challenge, we need skill development. Can we talk about PM Kaushal Vikas Yojana 4.0 that will help in digital skilling to people? We can talk about that. We can put the example. We can also talk about the apprenticeship program by companies so that the skills can be further imparted from the companies also, or internship aspect can be provided, which is being largely provided nowadays in the digital economy aspect. Many companies are providing the internship to people so that they can gain the skills which can further utilize into job creation. Why this is important? We'll be having in how much number people have come for the skill aspect, for how many people have applied for this, and with that we'll be having the actual data also, which will further help in better computation of the data, which will further help in providing the opportunities that can lower down our unemployment rate. Furthermore, improved data collection is one more aspect, because data collection is very much required. It should be accurate, and for that some online portal or essential steps needs to be taken. The sectoral analysis, different sectors, different performance based analysis needed to be done, and based on those analysis we will be able to compute better data aspect. We will be knowing what are the lacunas which are leading to this gap and how we can fulfill that lacuna. For example, you can take certain example like example of agriculture sector. If somebody is a farmer and the entire family is involved into it, but whether it is required or not, that is one context. So those sector based analysis will further help to take the people from the farm activity to non-farm activity also, based on their qualification and based on imparting new skills to them. Furthermore, the next point can be the entrepreneurship program, which will further help in creation of jobs and other aspects. The educational reforms, education should be largely based on industry requirement, where key economic changes in the education policy, for example, new education policy, where the provision of vocational training and other aspects can be better utilized, can be put forward. Furthermore, the labor market information, there should be some portal or aspect where this labor market information can be given further, so that we can have two things, labor availability का भी पता होगा और plus job opportunity or work opportunity का भी पता होगा at the same time, and they can be better integrated similarly. Furthermore, the formalization of major informal sector will help for better computation of data also in the unemployment aspect. And with all these points, now you need to conclude the answer. Let's see what we can do in the conclusion aspect. Effectively tackling unemployment in India, particularly the structural type, demands an improved and comprehensive approach to collect and analyze data. You need to collect it, you need to analyze it, why this unemployment is rising, and consistently, timely and coordinated surveys are required, along with emphasis of underemployment and skill mismatch aspect, so that this can also be rectified, and this can offer more precise understanding of job creation or job market, and will help the policy makers in crafting precise solution to combat unemployment in India. Addressed the entire answer, I feel. Let's move to the next question. The next question is, distinguish between care economy and monetized economy. How can care economy be brought into monetized economy through women empowerment? ठीक है, तो सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन तो यही आ जाएगा आपके दिमाग में कि केयर इकोनॉमी क्या है, और बहुत आराम से बोलूं तो केयर क्या है, हु नीड्स केयर, एवरीबडी नीड्स, बट पर्टिकुलरली अगर हम देखें तो केयर इकोनॉमी का एस्पेक्ट दो तीन उसमें आएगा। पहली चीज नर्चरिंग, दूसरी चीज केयर गिविंग, और तीसरी चीज हेल्पिंग और एडिंग एस्पेक्ट में आ जाएगा इन और टू एन इंडिविजुअल और टू कम्युनिटी, and that answer can be better articulated with the elderly care, the child care, care to vulnerable people, and other aspects of care economy. Furthermore, the another aspect they have asked, monetized economy. So the formal economy where we see the production of goods and services is nothing but monetized economy, where every activity is paid. But largely in care economy, either it is unpaid or underpaid. So you need to distinguish between care economy and monetized economy first of all, and then further you need to talk about how this care economy can be integrated into monetized economy through women empowerment. Now, why this question? Largely the survey has been conducted many a times where the unpaid care work done by women has been recognized by different agencies, even ILO, Oxfam, and the Indian agencies also, where we have shown if this has been further integrated, how beneficial it can be. We can take the example of Japan. Furthermore, in India, we have certain data that will be reflecting in our answer that will also enrich our answer at the same time. Then, how to introduce this question? There are two ways to introduce this question, and largely if you see the core of the theme, so the core of the theme is care economy itself, because large emphasis is on the care economy. So you can introduce either with some data if you are having, and if you don't have any data, you can define what is care economy, and with that you can start with distinguish between the care economy and monetized economy in the body part, and then within the body part you can go ahead with this, how we can take this care economy into monetized economy through women empowerment. That can be done forward. So then we'll conclude. Conclusion में क्या करेंगे, रोल ऑफ वुमेन के एस्पेक्ट को थोड़ा सा इकोनॉमिक वे में ट्रांसफॉर्म करेंगे. सो विल सी व्हाट वी गोना डू दिस टाइम. एज पर ILO, International Labour Organization, India spends less than 1% of GDP on care economy. You can start with this simple statement also, or you can start with an report by Oxfam where they say women do 10 times more unpaid care work than men in India, and if this unpaid work is counted or checked, the female labor force participation will jump from currently 20.5% to 81%, very significant jump, which will further show better size of GDP at the same time. And if we compare the contribution of women's unpaid work, it is valued around 3.1% of GDP in India. So you can start with either this or this. This looks more comprehensive and can give better aspect to your answer. Furthermore, now you need to differentiate between care economy and monetized economy, where you can start with the definition of care economy. The care economy encompasses the unpaid or underpaid work that involves caregiving, nurturing, and maintaining the well-being of individuals and communities. In a simple and precise way, you can write this definition. Furthermore, it involves unpaid or underpaid work. That is one differentiation between care and monetized. The another is the larger role is played by women. They do largely the emotional labor and largely unrecognized. That is one more part. Whereas if we talk about the monetized economy segment, it refers to the formal sector of the economy where goods and services are being bought and sold through monetary transaction. That means every activity is being paid. It is paid work, largely male dominated. The market driven activity is being done, and largely recognized. That means it is largely in the formal sector. So this kind of differentiation we can give. Certain more points you can add further. Now the second part of the question, which has huge demand, and with that you can start about integration of care economy into monetized economy through women empowerment. You can give certain point that this will help in the inclusive development or other aspect that you can write. And the first part you can come ahead with equal pay for equal work. Now I want to tell you one thing. Largely most of the candidates have misrecognized this part of the question. They have addressed more the women empowerment aspect. But that is one aspect. You can mention that, but in one aspect. Largely it is talking in the economy aspect, where it is asking about integration of care economy into monetized economy. That means the work women do which is underpaid or unpaid, how can we make it professional and paid at the same time? So with the equal pay and equal work, we can talk about the recognition of work, providing them equal pay for equal number of works they work, equal number of hours they work. And we can also recognize the work so that the monetary value can be better targeted. In that aspect, you can write 1 or 2 points here. Then the formalization and professionalization of this sector, which further help to give them assured income at the same time and will increase the labor force participation there. The gender inclusive policies. Here the aspect of women empowerment can also, everywhere the women aspect is coming forward. How it is coming, let me tell you. What formalization will do? This will give the recognition. This will ensure the social security measures to them, because the income and social security aspect will also be measured and will also be included into that. The